Welcome back to On the Wild, episode number 35. I'm Anuj Bhaskar. With me, as always, Riley Keenan. We had no idea what to do for this episode.
No clue.
We wanted to talk about the NFL, but we did that already.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing our award predictions actually later on in the episode, but we wanted to start this episode with something unique, and I thought an idea to ask each other questions. It could be sports related, music related. I have a movie question, and we're just going to ask each other and give our opinions on it. Do you want to go first, or
Yeah, I'll start.
just going to go back and forth?
Yeah, I'll go with the sports question to start here.
Cool.
Is Lamar Jackson an elite quarterback? And if so, where do you rank him among quarterbacks in the league?
I'd say he is an elite quarterback, and I don't think his running ability makes him an elite quarterback. A lot of people could argue that, saying quarterbacks aren't supposed to run like that.
Yeah.
But if you have it, then why would you not use it?
You can utilize it, and you're going to be much better because of it.
Exactly. So he's an improved thrower from what I've seen this year. He had some really bad interceptions against Kansas City, but I think after those picks, he played really well. I would put him in the top 10, but in the lower half.
Yeah, that's why when I'm thinking about this question is because I want to put him I do think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league, but he's on the lower end of it, and that's what makes me think maybe he's not elite. Because I still would have, obviously, the Bradys, Rodgers, Mahomes, Watson if he's playing. Kyler I'd have above him. Herbert even, possibly. I think he'll progress well.
Over him.
Not yet, but the thing for me is that Lamar is successful, I think, in the system he's in.
Mm-hmm.
I think he benefits from the Ravens system because they're building it around him as a quarterback, which they should be doing. But I think if you put Lamar on, the Patriots, I don't think he's as successful.
Well, I think the Patriots would just make a system that revolves around him.
But that's the thing. I think you have to revolve it around the quarterback, which I don't know. I
get the point. You have to play a certain style with him, but you could say that about a lot of quarterbacks that can't run either.
For sure. But that's the thing.
There's only a select few quarterbacks where I'm okay, you can put him anywhere and they'll succeed.
Right.
There's Mahomes, Rodgers, Brady, I guess.
Josh Allen,
even though he's been struggling.
Yeah. But
so far, it's only been 2 games.
But that's the thing. If you can't succeed wherever you're going, are you elite then?
I think it just depends on what your definition of elite is. My
definition of elite is this guy can win me a championship wherever he goes.
Wherever he goes, then there's only 3 elite quarterbacks to me.
That's what I'm saying. It's I think for me, I think you kind of talk about it in the same way you talk about a superstar in the NBA. It's a guy that can possibly bring you a championship as the best player on your team.
I think Lamar can win a championship I think he's a championship level quarterback.
Right.
He's not as good as Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Patrick Mahomes kind of ruins it for everybody else.
He's just on a whole nother level.
He's just so good that you're just comparing them to him.
Yeah.
Instead of to each other, because he's just so much better than everybody else.
Exactly.
I don't care what you say about Brady won the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
You switch their places, Tampa Bay wins by even more points.
Yeah.
So
and when we're switching gears here a little bit, but when they talk about Mahomes will never be the GOAT, we don't know that because people say he'll never win 7 championships. That may be so, but he could shatter every record that quarterbacks have ever made in the league, yards,
he
touchdowns.
Already is. I swear he's breaking a record every other game.
Yeah, if he can win 3 or 4 titles and break all these records, to me that's the GOAT because it showed that he had the talent and he had the winning ability. Whereas Brady obviously has the winning ability, but he's not. He's up there in all the statistical categories, but he's been playing for so long, so that helps him out.
Yeah, well, that's also part of it, though, longevity.
Yeah, longevity. The fact that he's been able to play for this long is unbelievable.
But I'd say Lamar. My definition of an elite quarterback is he has the ability to make plays and win a Super Bowl, and I think Lamar Jackson can win a Super Bowl.
Right.
But he's just in Patrick Mahomes' league.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be hard for him.
It's gonna be tough. I think the way I look at it right now is because I've been flip flopping as the first 2 weeks gone on. Because first week he fumbled 3 times. He was struggling throughout. He couldn't get the game over. He still had a good game, but he struggled. And then this next week against the Chiefs, 2 interceptions off the get go. You're okay, maybe he's not up there. But then he finished the game off strong and he played really well to end it. I
also don't like is that the narrative around him changed because Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbled. If he didn't fumble, then the Chiefs are most likely going to win the game.
Exactly.
But a play that wasn't even affected by him caused the whole narrative to change. Oh, he beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, he beat Patrick Mahomes. It's like Mahomes didn't even get an opportunity to finish the game because of the fumble.
And he made the play at the end to ice it, which,
Yeah.
Credit to him, but I don't like how that narrative changed. I just feel like Lamar Jackson gets criticized because Patrick Mahomes exists.
I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, it's like kind of like, the Matthews McDavid argument. Like, oh, Matthews isn't on his level. He's not. McDavid is so far above everybody else in the league.
Yeah.
You can't really compare the two.
Yeah.
It's like Mahomes is just on another level at the end of the day. But to finish this off is like the way I look at Lamar is I think he's an elite quarterback. I don't think he's an elite passer. And I think at the end of the day, like,
he's a good passer. I wouldn't say he's an elite passer.
He's a good passer. I think I put him as an elite quarterback because he can change a game by just running on his feet. But I would say is like I would like it if he would pass the ball a bit more, because at the end of that game, every play you knew he was just going to run the ball.
He did show something against the Chiefs. He said, or he didn't say anything, but he came from behind.
Yeah,
he's never really done that before.
He's always usually had a lead.
Yeah, and you look at the games that he's lost, whether it's the 3 to Patrick Mahomes before the Chiefs got out early and they could never recover, whereas this game they got down early and they kept fighting back.
The only other time I can think of him really coming back was against the Browns last year in that primetime game. And that wasn't even his fault that they were down. It was because he came out of the game. I think McSorley started playing. And then he was able to come in, I think it was 3rd or 4th down. Throw a bomb to Marquise Brown. Yeah. That was heartbreaking for me, but it was a crazy play.
Great game.
Yeah.
Game of the year last year.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, when it comes to Lamar, I think recency bias is the biggest it's ever been for an athlete, because it's weekly, people change their opinions on him.
Yeah.
Which is understandable because he does kind of change his game weekly, but he's always going to be a dominant rusher. It's whether or not he's going to be able to throw the ball well that game.
Yeah. I may as well just ask my Lamar Jackson question. As a Browns fan, if you replace Baker Mayfield with Lamar Jackson, would that increase your confidence at winning a championship, or would it?
Yeah. I mean, like at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback.
By how much? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your confidence in Baker Mayfield?
My confidence in Baker Mayfield is at like a 6.
If it was Lamar Jackson, where would your confidence be?
I'd say a good 8. Okay. And here's why. One, first of all, Baker's never had a fully healthy team. Like, he's never had all the wide receivers in the lineup. Like right now, he's got OBJ and Landry out. It's tough. And I think he's a good game manager, and he's become a good game manager since last season, and you've shown it. Like, obviously, that interception against the Chiefs was tough, but, like, it was an unlucky play. He got tripped up. He was trying to throw it out of bounds. But Lamar, the Browns are such a run-heavy team that I think it would benefit them a lot to have Lamar in the lineup, because you have no idea who's going to be running the ball that play. You can have both Hunt and Chubb on the field, and it's going to be like, all right, one of these guys is running. Who's it going to be?
That would be crazy.
Yeah. And also, he is a pretty good deep passer, like Lamar.
He is.
Throwing on the run, he does
some
well.
Some of the throws, I remember one throw he threw against the Raiders to Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
I was like, if you just do this consistently, you're unstoppable. Like,
exactly.
No one can mess with you.
And that's why another reason I think he'd be more successful in the Browns lineup is because the Browns run a lot of play action, a lot of Baker running outside the numbers and making a deep throw. Lamar can do that as good as anybody because he's going to get out of the pocket so fast. And then with Baker, like, he's waiting to make the throw, and then if he has to run, he will, which he has done. He's gotten first downs. He's gotten 5-yard rushes to benefit them. But Lamar, he's just going to run right away, and he'll get 20, 30 yards for you.
Baker makes me laugh when he runs. It's not that he's a bad runner. It's just that there was one run against Kansas City. He ran out, and he tried to juke the defender, and the defender just picked him up and threw him to the ground. It's funny.
Yeah, Baker kills me. Like, he's got such a good energy. Like, when he tried to hit the Chiefs guy after throwing the pick, it's like I loved him doing that, but at the same time, it's like, what are you doing? You're going to hurt yourself. Oh, what? Not against the Chiefs, against the Texans.
Houston.
Yeah. I almost panicked during that game. Chubb went down, Baker went down, and Landry went down. I thought it could be over here. Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely be more confident Lamar Jackson being the quarterback. I think Baker's going to have a good career, and I think he's going to have a good season, but at the end of the day, like, Lamar Jackson's a better player.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll move on to my second question here. I'll go with movies here. Or not movies, music. Who will last the longest and remain the most prominent of this generation in the hip-hop industry?
Drake.
I think Drake, too.
Because, like, what you say, relevant?
Yeah, like, who's going to be the Tom Brady of this music industry?
Drake and Travis. Because Travis, I don't think it'll be a music thing, but it'll just be, like, clothes.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Kanye's done.
He'll always be relevant in that sense.
Travis could make a Air Jordan 1 mid,
yeah,
which everybody hates and everybody will fall in love.
Yeah, and everyone will buy.
Yeah.
I can also see Travis being just a producer at the end of his career and just
Yeah.
making an album with a bunch of younger guys and girls that are coming up.
His record label.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Drake too, because what
Drake's
makes me
gonna be at a point in like 10 years where like it's gonna be it'll sound weird to say now, but in a Jay-Z sort of thing where he's gonna have so much money
yeah.
that he's gonna have so many like businesses that he'll drop a feature every now and then and everybody will pay attention.
It'll be huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think like the people I'm putting him up with like are the Kendricks and the J. Coles of the world.
They're gonna be retired.
That's the thing. I think they're gonna retire in the terms of like they're gonna drop that final album and it's gonna be like, wow, they went out with a bang. They wanted that. It's kind of like the Quentin Tarantino, like I want to make 10 movies and that be my career so you can look at the catalog. I think J. Cole and Kendrick are like that in the sense that they want to go out with a bang and not ever like dwindle. Whereas Drake, I feel like he has a formula where he can do it forever.
Yeah, he's gonna be doing features until he's 50 years old. Whereas Cole and Kendrick, I feel like they're not huge feature artists to begin with.
Yeah.
So they'll just drop that last album and just leave.
And,
We'll never see him again.
Yeah, and I feel like they're very like they grow with the times and they're gonna have different perspectives through their rapping. Whereas Drake, he's gonna have different perspectives, but he's always gonna be on the same, even keel way of rapping.
Yeah.
So that he can just prolong that for a long time, and people are always gonna love it. At the end of the day, people are gonna buy Drake's music. Whereas J. Cole and Kendrick, I feel like they might reach a point where they're like, I want to try something new, and people may not like it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I feel like Cole and Kendrick are like they're strictly artists.
Yeah.
Whereas Drake, Travis Scott, they're more
entrepreneurial.
Yeah. Same thing like with Kanye.
Yeah. Just doing more than just music.
Yeah. Which will keep them relevant for longer.
Yeah. Yeah. Over to you.
I forgot what I was asking. My question is a movie question. What is one movie that you're looking forward to within the next year?
That is so tough.
I know you're really into music. You're really into movies now.
Yeah.
Over the past like a year.
Dude, I gotta pick one. Okay.
I'll just do three.
Three? Okay. Three? I like that. First of all, Batman. The Batman. That is gonna be huge. Like you and me, he's our favorite superhero. Robert Pattinson's playing Batman. I have a whole new respect for Robert Pattinson now. He's a great actor since Twilight. Never even watched Twilight, to be honest with you, but he looked pretty
I think
Batman.
I watched a couple of them.
Yeah, it was a little cringe. But he's been killing it, and then it just looks like people are talking about it as if it's like a horror movie and that it's terrifying. And to me, that sounds awesome because Batman's a vigilante at the end of the day. He's not a good dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to get the job done. Two, I'm going to go with Don't Look Up because it's a guy who made Step Brothers and the other guys, two of my favorite comedy movies ever. And it stars Leonardo DiCaprio with like a huge cast like Jonah Hill and all them. It just looks like going to be a really funny movie and something that we need. Like, we haven't had like good comedies in a while. Just because obviously PC culture, like people are scared to say things, which rightfully so. But I feel like we'll get a good comedy movie in that. Final movie, I'm gonna go with Dune because I don't know anything about Dune, nothing. I knew it came out before and it's a book, but it's made by Denis Villeneuve, who's one of my top 5 favorite directors. It's got
Never heard of him, by the way.
Yeah, great cast, and then like people are like Christopher Nolan was talking about it as if it's like the best experience since 2001: A Space Odyssey, which was in 1968.
Damn.
Like, they're talking about it as if it's not even like a movie, that it's just more of like an experience that you're going in and you're just like visually it's going to be some of the best that we've ever seen. Also, before I wrap that up, do you see the Christopher Nolan deal that he got?
No.
So he left Warner Brothers because of everything that went down with Tenet and releasing it during COVID, which he didn't want. He's basically a free agent to these movie studios, and every single studio was offering him huge contracts. He eventually signed with Paramount, I think, and his like he got a deal where he gets $100 million for the movie, $100 million for marketing. No movie in that studio can come out 3 weeks before or after, and like, dude, he just had a ton of demands that were like no directors ever had before, and they were like, yeah, absolutely. Like, he's like the LeBron James of movies right now. I just thought that was so cool that he gets to make all these demands, and then he has 100% creative control.
That's crazy.
Which is so rare. Like you see Disney and like Star Wars, like Disney like takes over, like, oh, you're not going to do that. He's like, no, this is my movie. I'm going to make it the way I want. That's just a boss move. I like that.
100%.
But moving on to my final question here. Who will win the MVP between Vladimir Guerrero and Shohei Ohtani?
Here's the thing with that. I think that because Shohei Ohtani plays two positions, that makes him more like valuable to a team because he can fill two positions. But I think on a day-to-day basis, I think Donaldson said this too, like that Guerrero impacts his team more
Yeah.
But, like, I think Ohtani's going to win it because baseball is not a sport where, like, the record comes first.
Yeah.
Or else Trout would have no MVP.
Exactly. And I like that because in baseball, it doesn't ever come down to one guy. It's a team effort. However, I will say I think Ohtani might get it, but I think Vladdy deserves it. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Toronto fan. The way I look at it is, yes, Ohtani, the whole thing is that he was leading the league in home runs and that he's dominating pitching-wise. Well, Vladdy took over the home run lead, and Ohtani fell off pitching a bit. Obviously, he's still 9-2, but his ERA is above 3 now. And that doesn't make you a top-tier pitcher. Obviously, an ERA above 3 is still good. It's still a great ERA, but...
Well, there's only one pitcher below 3.
In the AL. There's like 9 or 10 in the NL.
Okay.
There's a lot of them. So he's not even a top 15, maybe even 20 pitcher in the league. And then hitting-wise, he's like third in the league in strikeouts. He leads the league in caught stealing. And he's like a 260 hitter. And in like 50 less at-bats than Vladdy, he has like 60 more strikeouts. So it's like... Vladdy's also like leading the league in batting average, which is tough to do as a power hitter. Like
that day-to-day thing, like
exactly.
He's more valuable from a day-to-day.
Yeah. And the fact that like he's on the verge of possibly winning a Triple Crown, which I don't think
if he gets the Triple Crown, it's over.
Yeah, you can't not give it to him if he wins the Triple Crown. That'd be outrageous. And I think it's going to be tough to get it because Teoscar Hernandez is playing incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he's just in the conversation for Triple Crown, which hasn't happened in so long, I feel like he deserves it. Also, the fact that they're making the playoffs, and the way he plays, like you said, makes their team play better.
Yeah.
He just seems like a happy guy, and guys get hyped off of what he does. He's a great fielder as well. I think Vladdy deserves it over Ohtani. If Ohtani can get his ERA under 2, though, or under 3, I would say give it to him, just because that's incredible to be able to do.
Yeah.
But with the ways things have rolled on now, Ohtani's not ending the year in terms of like, people aren't going, wow, look at how Ohtani's playing. But people are watching Vladdy as in like, wow, this guy is maybe one of the best players we've ever seen.
Yeah. But my last question is, if you were the GM for the Leafs, they hire you for one day.
Okay.
What is the one move you're going to make?
I'm trading Morgan Riley. I would have done this a year or 2 ago. I think he's great. I think Morgan Riley is a great defenseman, and I think he is a great leader. However, I think he's the most overrated player in the league because people look at him as in like he's the greatest defenseman on the Leafs. He could make Canada's Olympic team. I don't think Morgan Riley's the top 10 Canadian defenseman, and like he fell off offensively in the last 2 years, and defensively, it's not like he's an elite defender.
Yeah.
He's a good leader, and he's a good glue guy that you like on your team. But I don't think he's nowhere near $6 million, $7 million a year level, and the Leafs definitely can't pay that. So I think it's better. I think he's a high-value player, whereas he's overrated a bit, that you can get a lot for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they'll benefit him a lot. Because I don't even think he's the Leafs' best defenseman, to be honest. Like, Brody is so shut down defensively. Muzzin's been good offensively lately. I think moving Riley is the move. I don't think trading Mitch Marner is a good idea. He's still guy who's top 3rd in the league in points.
And his contract's very hard to move.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be tough to move him. But yeah, I think trading Morgan Riley for me.
True. But moving on to our award predictions, NFL award predictions. We wanted to wait a week or 2 before we did them. And obviously last week we were doing the Donda CLB versus hit battle, whatever. But we wanted to wait a couple weeks just to see if there was anybody that we may have missed in our preseason picks. Yeah. So me personally, I hate doing preseason picks because there's always a player or two that you don't realize is... I understand the concept of preseason picks, but I personally don't like doing them.
You also don't really know a player's role on the team yet.
Yeah.
Like, especially with rookies. Like, you have no idea what kind of playing time they're going to get.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You want to start out with... Do you want to go to, like, most important to...
Least important?
Or least important to most important?
I don't know. Let's go least first. Okay. We always go, usually, MVP first. Let's start with Coach of the Year. What are you thinking?
See, before this season, I probably would have said Kyle Shanahan, maybe, just because I feel like they would have bounced back. But right now, maybe John Gruden. But like the Raiders always start really. I remember a couple years they were like 8-4 or something like that.
They like beat the Chiefs last year.
Yeah, and they just blew it at the end.
Yeah,
like we said it, they're like the most mid team in sports. Yeah. And obviously after that, they proceed to beat the Ravens and the Steelers in weeks 1 and 2. So maybe John Gruden, but because I think the 49ers aren't going to make the playoffs.
Really?
No.
Going into this, I was thinking either Kyle Shanahan or Brandon Staley, because I think
Staley.
Staley was able to establish the Rams defense last year. It comes on to now a Chargers team that with a young quarterback, finally a healthy defense, and people are talking to them as if they're going to be a surprise to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think they can make the playoffs regardless. So I think that would kind of put him over the hump. But yeah, you know what? I'm going Brandon Staley here.
Brandon Staley.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, maybe Vic Fangio,
Maybe.
the Broncos coach.
Yeah, I
They've
guess.
looked good.
They're going to start 3-0 probably.
Yeah, who do they play? The Jets.
Jets.
They play the Jets this week. No, I'm just going to roll with John Gruden. John Gruden.
We'll see what he can do.
The $100 million man.
Yeah. Do you think this is make or break for him this year?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if you can fire him. I don't know how much of his contract's guaranteed.
Yeah, that's true.
I think they're just kind of stuck with him.
Yeah, he is a great coach. I think they just... It's weird. They've brought in a lot of talent over the years that's been good talent. They've just never really been able to do anything with it.
Or even, like, Cliff Kingsbury. Even I know I don't like him personally, just based off of how the team's performing so far. They should have lost to Minnesota. Minnesota blew the field goal at the end, the 37-yarder. But the Cardinals have looked good so far. But yeah, I'll go with John Gruden.
Okay. Now we'll go with Defensive Rookie of the Year. For me, I can only really think of one person. I'm going Micah Parsons here.
Micah Parsons?
Yeah, or Micah. It is Micah? Huh.
I think it's Mike. I think it's either. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, he's got all the tools as an inside linebacker. Like, he's quick. He's strong. Like,
they put him on the edge against the Chargers.
Yeah, and he was good. He looked good. So, yeah, I think Micah Parsons here.
I think it'll come down to 3. I think it'll be Parsons, Patrick Surtain. He's looked really good so far.
Yeah. If Surtain was on the Cowboys, I would have put him 1.
And then I mentioned him in the episode with Jelani, Azeez Ojulari from the Giants. I thought he was gonna have a pretty good year this year. He has 2 sacks in the first 2 games, so he's looked good. And the guy from Baltimore, Owe, I don't remember his first name. Owe. I think he changed his name, or like going back to his
I don't know
where
what
he's
his
from,
name
but
is.
I forget his first name. But
he looked good in that Raiders game.
Yeah, and he looked good against the Chiefs too.
Yeah.
He forced the Hilaire fumble.
Yeah. Wait, I thought his name was Young, or I'm thinking of different people.
It was Owe, but
yeah.
Those 4. If I'm gonna pick one, I'll go with Ojulari.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, though, that one's super tough. Because going into the season, I thought Pitts, but I don't know how much production they're gonna get out of him.
He had a good game against the Bucs. He had like 5 for 77. Yeah. But I'm gonna Justin Fields.
Okay. I'm going to go Mac Jones.
Mac
Jones. I know I said my bold prediction was for Trevor Lawrence to break the rookie touchdown record, which he very well could do.
But he could also break the interception record.
He could also break the I think he could break both. He'll have a Jameis Winston type season. But, yeah, I'm going to go Mac Jones here. I think he's a safe pick because I think he's going to get better as the season goes on, just like the Patriots usually do. They get a lot better as it goes on. He seems like he's a game manager. Like, he's a guy that's not going to screw up. He's going to be confident. He may not have a crazy game yardage-wise or touchdown-wise, but he's going to limit the turnovers. Yeah. And he's going to get better as the season goes on. So I think Mac Jones, because I think if any of the rookie quarterbacks have a chance to make the playoffs, it's him.
Yeah, in our bold predictions, I said that Fields is going to take over by early October because they were struggling. He's taking over a bit early. This is game 3.
Against the Browns.
Yeah.
I swear, if he has a crazy game, I'm going to be embarrassed. Like... He can't outperform Baker. You can't let him do that because Kyler outperformed Baker when he first played, and then Burrow outperformed Baker too. He can't let it happen again.
Yeah, so he's taking over a little bit earlier, and not for the reason I thought.
Yeah,
Dalton got injured, but now he's gonna have. I think if he plays well, it's gonna be his job. To Dalton's not getting it back.
Yeah, I think too. Also, like they know they're not in a winning position, so that it's not as much pressure on him to be super successful now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Justin Fields. Plus bias. I love Justin Fields.
Yeah. Should be a Falcon.
Should be. I remember I texted you when he got into the game. I was like, this dude should be warming up in Tampa Bay right now.
Yeah. Oh, I for your sake, I kind of want him to do bad because I don't want him to do bad. I want him to do well.
I'm a huge fan of his regardless, but I wish he was a Falcon. But true. Malik Willis next year.
Yeah.
Quarterback from Liberty. I love him.
We're moving on now to Defensive Player of the Year. I think I know who you're going to go with here.
Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald should win Defensive Player of the Year every single year.
He should. However, I'm going to go Myles Garrett here.
Yeah,
Because
that's not a bad choice.
It's not bad because listen, 2 straight years in a row he was in the conversation, and one of them I think he was last year he was in the lead.
Because COVID, he got COVID.
Yeah, he got COVID and it shut him down. He had 4 forced fumbles. He had leading the league in sacks when he went down, so that was super tough. And then the year before, obviously he decides to swing a helmet at Mason Rudolph. Yeah, so that took him out of contention. I think this is his year. He's had a decent start to the year with a couple sacks. He had if Nick Chubb didn't fumble, he would have been the game saver of that Chiefs game because he sacked Mahomes on 3rd down to stop him.
Clowney. They kind of sandwiched him.
They did, but that play was huge. Like that initially stopped them, and then they got the ball back, a chance to win the game, but didn't. But he's just a game changer for me. He's a guy that he really could be the defensive player of the year and possibly the most valuable player on the Browns because of what he's able to do to get the ball back in their hands. I'm gonna go with him here. One because of bias, and 2 because I think it's his time for it to happen.
Yeah, I don't think Donald will win it, to be honest, but I'm gonna pick him because he's the best defensive player in football, and he makes everybody around him better. So. Oh
yeah, you want a guy like Aaron Donald on your team. 1 because he makes you better. 2 because I honestly think he could be the best player in the league. Like he's up there with Mahomes.
I think he's the best football player in the NFL. And I'd take Mahomes over him just because of value.
Value, yeah.
But I think he's a better defensive lineman than
Mahomes
the second. I think he's a better defensive lineman than the second best at his position than Mahomes.
Yeah, that's true.
Than whoever you have.
Because with Mahomes you got Rodgers there, Brady's there. With even you can put Josh Allen in the conversation a little bit, but with Donald, there's no one really too close.
Because for me, the next best thing when it comes to what Donald does is Grady Jarrett.
Yeah.
If you put Grady Jarrett on the Rams, they drop off as a defense.
Yeah.
I love Grady Jarrett. He's on the Falcons, but he's not even close to the player that Donald is. Yeah. You put Aaron Rodgers on the Chiefs, there may be just a little bit of drop off, but it's still Aaron Rodgers.
It's still Aaron Rodgers, yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That looking at it that way, I could see Aaron Donald as the best player in the league.
I think he is, but I'd obviously take Mahomes because he's the quarterback.
Yeah, me too. But over to offensive player of the year, I think, to me, I don't even go quarterback here. I think quarterback is almost like an MVP award.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you can give it to other people, but
the MVP award is a quarterback award.
Yeah. And with offensive player of the year, I think you just have to give it to a wide receiver running back, just because they're not going to get the MVP unless they have an insane season.
But it's been weird so far. Tyler Lockett's the receiving yard leader. Deebo Samuel is second, I think.
Yeah. Going into this year, I thought Dalvin Cook.
He still could.
I still think so, but my only problem with him is he's never had a full season. He's never played a full season. They've always had to bring in Mattison to come in for him, so I can't really trust him. I guess just the safe pick with McCaffrey. He's just going to get so many touches with receiving and rushing wise, and Panthers look like a good team this year. They're a lot better than I thought they were going to be. I mean, obviously they started off 2-0, but their defense has been great. They got a good wide receiver room, but he just puts them over the hump, and with his production, it's he had 53% of the touches in 2019. So
he hasn't won one yet, though, has he?
No, I think in 2019 they gave it to
Thomas, right?
Yeah, Michael Thomas, which I thought they should have given it to McCaffrey.
Well, I think it's because Thomas broke the record.
He broke the record, slant boy. But no,
it's on my fantasy team. Hopefully, he comes back and is slant boy, so he can just get crazy amounts of catches.
2 years in a row, we've gone risky with wide receiver. I took Antonio Brown this year.
Yeah,
you took Thomas.
Well, I just took Thomas later on because I was like, oh, he's gonna be back by hopefully week 7.
I was gonna take him, and then you took him. I was pissed. I was like, I can't believe he hasn't gone yet. And then nope, gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that whole thing about slant boy too. No, he's a good wide receiver. He can run a route.
Good receiver. I just didn't understand how people thought he was better than Julio Jones or DeAndre Hopkins.
Devontae Adams, maybe. Even.
At the time,
he was better, but
now obviously not.
Yeah. Yeah. Who are you going for offensive player there?
I probably agree with you with McCaffrey, just because Derrick Henry had a great game against Seattle, but I think as the year goes on, they're going to try to preserve him a little bit more.
Because we even saw in the playoffs against the Bills, if they try to push the run, it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
He was not able to. First game of the year, he got.
You mean the Ravens?
Sorry, yeah, the Ravens. Yeah.
But
yeah, even the first game of the year, he couldn't get downfield. I think he had 50 or so rushing yards on 20 or so
Yeah,
attempts.
he obviously went crazy against Seattle.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah, but
like
I'll probably go with McCaffrey just because of how involved he is with the offense.
Yeah.
It all revolves around him. So
yeah, I could even see Alvin Kamara taking it just because not having Breeze there, they're gonna focus on.
he's been somewhat quiet the first couple weeks.
But he never really starts off crazy. More to the end of the year is where he picks it up. Obviously, 6 touchdowns last year, but I think he's in the conversation. But yeah,
and like receiver wise, I don't really see anybody right now like running away with it. Maybe
if anyone, it would be Adams for me because Rodgers just focuses on him so much.
Or maybe Hopkins. He has I think 3 touchdowns already.
Man, I love watching the Cardinals because Christian Kirk is so fun to watch. So fun to watch too. It's nice to have AJ Green back and like a proper competing team too.
He's finally healthy too.
Yeah. But moving on to the final one, the MVP, the big boy.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you going with?
Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, that's a safe pick. Or it's not even like
just because I think that Mahomes, he's gonna get the LeBron treatment, where like people are already kind of sick of him.
Yeah, it sucks
and
because
he's
he's only won it once, and he should have won it. I think he should have won it when Lamar won, but he obviously got hurt, so that took him out of contention. But I'm going Mahomes here because I think he's going to have the most consistent season, and you're not going to have a game where you're like, wow, he played really bad. He's always going to play well.
Yeah,
whereas already with Rodgers, we've seen him struggle.
Yeah.
Allen struggled
already. And even
already.
Stafford against the Colts didn't play the best. Like, he played good, but not that good.
And we know Russell Wilson to drop off as the season goes on.
Yeah. Also, Brady.
Brady, yeah.
They're on a streak right now where since last season, I think they've gone 10 straight games where they've scored 30 points.
Yeah. And the thing with Brady, he's just not going to make mistakes. He may not, like in the Super Bowl, he may not kill you with the passing yards, but he's going to throw 3 or 4 touchdowns, and he's not going to throw an interception.
He's already thrown 9 touchdowns in 2 games. And he's thrown 2 picks, but one was a Hail Mary and one was a drop.
Yeah. It kills me when people talk about like the top 3 tight ends in the league and they don't mention Gronk. It's like, when he wants to play.
Top 3?
But
I wouldn't put him in the top 3.
But the thing is, when he wants to score, he can. He's got 4 touchdowns already this year, and they didn't even use him the rest of the game because he's already got 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't put him in the top 3. I think it's Kelsey,
Kittle, and Waller. That's the thing, though. I think like right now, if I had to get someone, I don't know, I'd probably want Waller over Gronk. But in the red zone, I'd want Gronk.
Really? I think Waller's a freak.
Oh, Waller's crazy. He's third in the league as a tight end, I think. But I think Gronk needs to be in that conversation. Just because like he just doesn't get as much opportunity. And he's like Kittle. He loves blocking, so he's not going to be going downfield as much.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really needed a touchdown, he's your guy.
Yeah. I wouldn't put him over those 3. After that, Hawkinson's look good. But would you really take Hawkinson over Gronkowski?
And the thing too, like Austin Hooper, like I think he's there, but being on the Browns, he's not there. Like if he was still on the Falcons, I think he'd be in the conversation.
I think he'd be in the top 10, but no.
But being on the Browns, like they have Njoku and Bryant, so
Kyle Pitts,
figure it out. What is he? 19?
I think he turns 21 in October.
Oh yeah. What am I saying? NFL, they have to play a year in college or 2 years in college.
3 years.
3 years. Do you think they'll ever change that?
Nah. You have to physically develop to play in the NFL.
Yeah, like you look at Mahomes, like he didn't even know what he was doing the first time he stepped in the league,
mm-hmm.
or like systematically he didn't know what he was doing. He knew.
But I'll say it again, Kyle Pitts, figure it out, bro.
Yeah. If there's anybody that can pull off the offensive rookie of the year, it's Pitts, but he needs to get going.
The 4th overall pick in the draft.
Yeah.
You need to make an impact. Yeah.
Not only the 4th pick in the draft, people were talking about him as the best player in the draft.
The best tight end they've ever seen.
Yeah. So, this draft is actually crazy with expectations because they talked about Lawrence as a generational talent. They said Wilson could be like Mahomes. They said Pitts is the best tight end they've ever seen, and they said Penei Sewell's a generational talent.
Yeah.
And yet, no one's really been like, wow, yet. But I mean, rightfully so. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
yeah, like we're saying all this. Like Kyle Pitts figured it out. It's been 2 games.
However, Wilson, you can't be throwing 4.
Yeah, more like picks than you have completions. Come on, but
that's bad. Yeah.
Very bad. And I was talking good about him last week. I was like, he's grown on me.
Yeah, dude, the whole lead up to the season, you were very confident in the Jets. Not winning games. But
I was like, the Jets look good. I think they're going in the right direction. They're the same team.
Yeah,
they suck. They
haven't changed much. I want to see more from Elijah Moore too.
Yeah, they haven't. They were talking about him being an All-Pro this
Yeah,
year. Like Odell, who said Odell?
Yeah, people were saying like Elijah Moore is like the third best fantasy sleeper. I'm like, no, he's not. Like he's not gonna get the ball that much. So.
And Jamar Chase knows how to catch now because
Yeah.
3 drops in a preseason game means you're gonna be a bust. Apparently.
I didn't play him in either of my first 2 fantasy weeks.
Well, you haven't yet. You're 2-0. I'm 0-2.
I'm 2-0, but I am a bad 2-0, and you're a good 2-0-2.
Yeah, I have the 4th most points for, and I'm 0-2.
I think you have more points than me.
I do.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Like it is not fair. Both my games I've squeaked out too.
Hopefully, I win this week.
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton. I'm putting him in the starting lineup. Didn't have him last week.
Dude,
he scored 24 points.
Sutton is a baller. You got to start him.
Yeah. Well, week 1 because he's coming back off of an injury, but now Judy's out, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna play Sutton.
And like I didn't really expect Teddy to look this good.
He's been good.
Like I thought it was more. I thought there was gonna be a lot more competition between him and Drew Lock. But then you think about it, it's like Bridgewater's been in the league a while. He knows what he's doing, whereas Lock doesn't. He just doesn't. Do you think he'll ever get a chance to be a starting quarterback?
I don't know. I think he'll have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But not in Denver. Bridgewater looks good.
Yeah.
I think we should wrap up before we just keep going.
Keep going, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below, and we'll see y'all next week. Take it easy.
Stay well.
Peace.